Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope you're all doing very, very well. We have a very interesting verse in the book of Zechariah in chapter 14, verse 9, Zechariah. The verse goes very interestingly, states, V'haya Hashem HaMelech al kol ha'aretz b'yom hahu yeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad, which translates into and Hashem will be king over the entire world on this day. On this day, He will be one, Hashem will be one, and His name will be one. So there's a few things we have to understand. And then later on we'll connect it to even something deeper that is very special at this specific day of the Hebrew calendar. We find ourselves on Chai Elul, which is a very, very holy and special day. And we will get into that. But let us first go into this verse from the mouth of the holy prophet Zechariah. And he says so beautifully, a messianic era prophecy, a prophecy regarding the days of Moshiach. He says so beautifully, what does it mean that on this day Hashem will be king over the entire world, and His name, and Hashem will be one, and His name will be one? What does this all mean? Is Hashem not the king of the world right now? Is Hashem not one right now? What does it mean that on this day, on the day when Moshiach comes, may it be today, Hashem's name will be one, Hashem will be king of the world, and Hashem will be one? Now, what is this? What is going on? Well, we have to understand that, yes, Hashem is completely and entirely one, and there's no other than Him. But we have to understand the idea of Hashem being our king. There's a famous verse in the Torah that says, En melech baloi am. It's like a famous a quote from our sages. The source is it's an old verse. I'm not not aware of the exact source of this verse, but En melech baloi am is a very famous verse that saying that we constantly quote in Hasidus, which means there is no king without a nation. So while it is true that Shem is entirely one, and there's none other than Him, Hashem creates us and gives us the illusion that we exist as independent beings, meaning there's none other than God. But Hashem, in His greatest power, this actually shows how great and how powerful Hashem is that He can create beings, because in truth there's nothing other than God, but Hashem is so powerful that He can create beings that think that they're independent beings, and they think that are unaware of God, and that is only in Hashem's greatest power and potency that only complements Hashem's greatness to show how He can create beings that think they're separate from Him, but in truth there's nothing other than Him. So what does Hashem do? Why did Hashem do this? Hashem created us and He gave us the ability to experience our own independent existence, only so that we can then turn to God and crown Him as king, because a king needs a nation. As great as a king is, unless he has a nation, he can't really necessarily be called a king, because a king connotates that there's a king, one that's above, and a nation that's below and subservient. So too, and how much more so with regards to Hashem. He's the greatest of all, there's none other than Him, but He desired a home, and He desired to have a nation, He desired to have children. And that is why He created us, to be able to serve Him and crown Him as king, and to be involved with Him. So this is why it says on that day Hashem will be king over the entire world, because in order for one to be officially crowned as king, it requires the nation to crown Him. It requires the nation to be involved, the nation to accept upon them the king. And we can crown Hashem as king at every single moment in our lives. All it takes is one instant, not even a millisecond, one instant of just turning your attention towards God and desiring Him. And it goes like this: you just turn your attention towards God, and you make it clear to God that you want Him as your king. Hashem, I want you to be my king. I love you. Everything that you do, you are incredible. Please reign over us. And when we do that, we arouse Hashem's desire to reign over us. And we may even arouse it to the point, Bizlat Hashem today, to the point where God will reveal how He's king to each and every one of us, and the whole world will know that God is running the show. Already there's many people who are aware of this, but there are others who are not so aware that need to be made aware. So let us also understand, what does it mean that Hashem will be one and His name will be one? That these are very deep sayings. What does this mean in reality? How do we understand these verses? So to understand it better, let us understand that it goes back to what we just said earlier, that there's nothing other than Hashem. But at first glance, Hashem makes us think that we're separate beings. Why does Hashem make us think that we're separate beings? To give us free will to be able to turn to God and to perform the Torah and mitzvahs, to do the positive deeds. The positive deeds in this world are only possible when we serve God with free will. If we didn't have free will, if we were just totally aware of God at every moment, we wouldn't even be able to serve God, because we wouldn't have any free will. We'd be completely bottled out of existence, nullified out of existence, if God was to be fully revealed. Like that is what happened at Mount Sinai. When God fully revealed Himself at Mount Sinai, the world was not able to handle it, and their souls left their body and they passed away because of the intense godly revelation. So then God had to revive them back to life. But we know in the days of Moshiach we will be refined enough. Our bodies will be so holy because of the Torah and mitzvahs, and for the righteous Gentiles, the 7 laws of Noach and all their details. We will be made so holy by serving God with our bodies, that our bodies then, when God reveals Himself in the days of Mashiach, we will be able to handle it, and we will not leave our bodies. We will not pass away when God reveals Himself, but rather we'll enjoy it, and we'll be perfectly capable of enjoying it and being in awe and being excited and enthusiastic while we experience the greatest possible godly revelation. So that's why it says Hashem will be one and His name will be one, because we will realize, while in our bodies, while being physical beings, we will fully experience that there's nothing other than Hashem, and the entire physical will be filled and permeated with the spiritual, and even this physical world, which at first glance seems so far from God, will actually be the place where God's presence is most strongly revealed. In this world, greater than any world above it. Because of the fact that it seems so far, that sets the stage for the coming so close. And also that Hashem's name will be one also shows that every time we mention Hashem's name in the Torah, we call Him by His name, we will see that Hashem is the one who's telling us to follow the Torah. The same Hashem that we spoke about in the Torah, who did miracles for our ancestors in the past, is the same Hashem who's running the show right now. And in connection to the holy day of the year that we're celebrating, Chai Elul, the birthday of the holy Baal Shem Tov and the holy Alter Rebbe, the two tzaddikim that are beyond words. The English language does not give us the proper terms to express how holy these rabbis are, that these teachers. The Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe were both born on this day today. And I remember my rabbi said something so beautifully last year at a Farbrengen. He said, why are they born on the same day? Because to show how intrinsically they're connected, because they need each other. We know that the Baal Shem Tov was the person who revealed Hasidus to the world. The Baal Shem Tov was a very hidden tzaddik at first. He was a deep Kabbalist, and he was studying the inner secrets of Torah, and there was this secret society of tzaddikim, of righteous people who were studying the secrets of Torah. But they weren't sharing these secrets with the common folk, because the general idea was that the common folks were not ready yet for these Torah secrets. Until what happened one day was, the Baal Shem Tov, what happened was he went above. He was such a holy man that he was able to meditate and take himself to higher levels of reality, to heavenly dimensions. And he was able to experience divine revelations. And when he was above, he got to meet the Moshiach himself. The Baal Shem Tov met the Moshiach himself, and he said to the Moshiach, Master, when are you coming? And the Baal Shem Tov replied by saying, when your teachings spread. Then the Baal Shem Tov understood that he can no longer remain in hiding and hide his righteousness and hide his secret teachings, and he has to reveal his secrets to the world in order to prepare the world for the coming of Mashiach and to bring the days of Mashiach upon us, because we know the Hasidus, the secrets of Torah, is a taste of the Torah of Mashiach. When Mashiach will come, he will reveal even deeper secrets of Torah. So the Hasidus we have now is already the Torah of Mashiach, as it is tasting the days of Mashiach. We know before Shabbos we're supposed to taste of the Shabbos food. So too now we're tasting of the Torah of Mashiach, the everlasting Shabbos. And then, who is also the Alter Rebbe's birthday today, the holy, holy, holy Alter Rebbe, who was the top student of the top student of the Baal Shem Tov. The top student of the Baal Shem Tov was the Maggid of Mezrich, who became his successor, the leader of the generation. And then his top student was the Alter Rebbe, who was the youngest of all his students. And he was tasked with writing the Shulchan Aruch, the code of law, as well as he wrote the Tanya and many other Hasidic literature. So what is this connection between the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe? The Baal Shem Tov revealed Hasidus to the world, and the Alter Rebbe brought Hasidus down to an even more internalizable level. A level that is able to be internalized, if that's a word. The Alter Rebbe took the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov, which were so secretive, so deep, so potent, and he developed them in a way where it can be understood by the simple folk to an even greater degree. And the Alter Rebbe is the first Rebbe of Chabad. So we see that these two incredible men revealed the secrets of Torah to the entire world and literally are paving the way for the days of Moshiach. That we know these tzaddikim, they have done so much good in the world that literally millions of people alive today are conducting their lives in a better way because of them. The world at large, I'm saying millions of people in a revealed way, the way they actually do activities in their life, their studies that they study are literally because of these holy men. Of course, with the help of Hashem, but through these holy men. So we see the power of the effects that these people had on the world. We see that they are literally bringing the days of Mashiach. So this is connected to the verse we just said before. What verse? The verse of on that day God will be king over the entire world. On this day God will be king. God will be one and his name will be one. How is this related to the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe? Because the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe, their whole mission of the secrets of Chassidus was to reveal the secrets of Torah to the world. And what is the point of the secrets of Torah? The point of the secrets of Torah, Chassidus, Kabbalah, is to teach us about God. We learn everything's God. The whole Torah is God's will. Whatever you're doing is God's will. But sometimes it's not so revealed. You can't really understand. It's not clear. It's not fully graspable. Like when you're putting on tefillin or when you're doing a certain mitzvah, we can't always fully grasp the divine light that's within this positive deed we're doing. Comes Chassidus and explains to us the power of each mitzvah and tells us the secrets that actually when you're doing a mitzvah, what's happening is you're drawing down the beyond infinite godly light, the infinite godly light, the Ur Ein Sof, because God is beyond infinite. God is beyond infinite, and then God shines an infinite light and then creates a finite world. That is a very fast summary of a very deep level of reality of how God creates the world. But basically what happens is when we do a mitzvah, basically the world is finite and God's light is infinite. How could it be that we in this physical finite world will experience God's infinite, beyond infinite presence? Through the mitzvahs, through Torah mitzvahs. When we do a mitzvah, when we do a positive deed, we draw down Hashem's infinite godly light and we bring it into the world. But we don't always grasp that light. So comes Chassidus. When we learn Chassidus and Kabbalah, the secrets of Torah, we learn about these deep secrets, we learn about Hashem, and we get to tap into the divine light that's within the world. So it allows us to see how God is really one right now. Chassidus is so exciting because what it is you're learning deep secrets. You're learning the mysteries and secrets and the most deepest points of Torah. So what that does is that arouses a very deep excitement within our soul. When you learn about Kabbalistic things, Chassidus is the development of Kabbalah, and an even newer dimension of it to bring it down to the simple folks level as well. When you learn these deep secrets, not only does your soul get excited, but your body gets excited. And it's very important in this generation that we learn these deep secrets because the world is such a dark world. Therefore, these great, especially now in the times directly preceding the days of Mashiach, because the night is darkest right before the light comes. So to now that we are at the darkest point where the Mashiach is literally about to arrive at any moment. So that is why 200 years ago, and a little bit more than that, the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe revealed these deep secrets to the world because they realized that we are in such a dark, cold world at this point. We need a special light to shine forth to prepare us for the days of Mashiach, and that's the secrets of Chassidus. And that is how we will prepare for the coming Mashiach, by learning about these secrets and by connecting to God and realizing that there's nothing other than God. That even in this physical world where sometimes God seems hidden, that is exactly where God is found, and it is God himself who is causing each and every situation to happen. Baal Shem Tov said, a leaf doesn't fall from the tree without the command of God. So if a leaf doesn't fall from the tree without the command of God, how much more so all the important things in life we go through, are they not from God himself? Of course they are. Everything that happens to each and every one of us is God himself. And I apologize, people have told me maybe sometimes I speak fast in the videos. This video I had a lot to cover in a short amount of time to be able to make the video an appropriate length that people will actually watch the full thing. So I did have to cover a ton of topics in a short amount of time. So that is why it was a faster speed video. But bli neder, we'll try, God willing, we'll try to bli neder work on making videos more at a more appropriate speed depending on this topic of the video. But sometimes when I get excited about especially talking about the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe, there's so much to say and I want to be able to get it through in an appropriate amount of time. So may Hashem bless you. May the merit of these tzaddikim protect us and bless us, that we should come and experience the days of Mashiach immediately, where it will be clear to the entire world that Hashem is one and his name is one, and he will be king over the entire world. That includes Jews and righteous Gentiles, the entire world at large. The entire world will turn to God. Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Australia, the entire world will recognize God's reign over us. Everyone will be obsessed with God. Before Mashiach comes, you see people get excited about physicality, maybe about financial things, whatever it may be. When Mashiach comes, everyone will be obsessed with Hashem and his Torah. People are already now obsessed with Hashem, so we're tasting the days of Mashiach. We're super close, but in the days of Mashiach, maybe today, it'll take things to even greater heights. May Hashem bless you all. May we experience it today. Mazal Tov on this holy day. Good Yom Tov. Happy, happy, happy. Special day. The special day, the holy day of Chai Elul. May we all receive a blessing from this. Be well.